Okay. And tonight we are conducting our review of quiz number 9, which dealt with officiating principles. And honestly, we did pretty good, which was great, actually. We did pretty good on quiz number 9, which bodes well for the group, because everything we do on the floor is based on our understanding and our application of our principles. Now the quiz is barely very lightly touched on the principles, but we will continue to dig into them as we go, each one of them individually. But I am very pleased to say that we scored as a group. We scored well on the quiz, which is great. So I'm going to start with the review right now. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through quiz number 9. And I did something different this time. I placed the video question at the very end. So we're going to see how this process works versus our previous attempts. Let's see if it's a little bit smoother. Okay, so let me share screen number 1. Okay. There we go. Nope, nope, don't want that. I need to switch. Get out of the way. Get out of the way, man. I need to switch. There we go. All right. Oops. Go back. Okay, can everybody see the screen clearly?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
All right. And then once again, I'll remind everyone that this is interactive. We will go through it question by question. We'll go through our responses, our scores, our references. And if anyone has a different reference than our list, yes, please share it so that we can share it with everyone, so we can pull in all the information. Okay. This is quiz number 9 review session. And we're going to start with question number 1. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Here are our quiz metrics. As you can see, we scored pretty good as a crew. Scores from 80 to 100. The majority of the responses were actually, we had majority of officials score 100% on the quiz, which is great. Second tier was a score of 90. So we did real well on this quiz. The 2 questions that we frequently missed were number 6, which we'll go through, and number 10, which was the video question. Okay, so let's roll into question number 1. Everyone got the question correct. Number 1, guarding is the act. And by the way, guarding is obviously one of our most important principles in officiating. And I remind everyone that for the last several years, guarding has been a point of emphasis, which once again, the powers that be are communicating with us that this is an area that we need to continue to work on and to improve in, to get better, to help us to become more efficient and more accurate in what we do. Guarding is the act of legally placing the body in the path of an offensive opponent. The guarding position shall be initially obtained and then maintained inbounds on the playing court. All right. Is that true or false? That is true. And that comes verbatim out of the rule book, and the rule reference is rule 10-4.1 on page 86. And that is the rule verbatim. All right, question number 2. All right. Kevin, read question number 2 for me.
Number 2, to obtain an initial legal guarding position on the player with the ball, select all that apply. A, the guard shall have both feet touching the playing court. When the guard jumps into position initially, both feet must return to the playing court after the jump for the guard to obtain a legal guarding position. B, the guard's torso shall face the opponent. C, no time and distance shall be required. D, when the opponent with the ball is airborne, the guard shall have obtained a legal guarding position before the opponent left the playing court.
Correct. And our reference is?
Reference is Rule 10, Section 4, Article 4, A through D, page 86.
That is correct. And this is obtaining initial legal guarding position. And as we continue to dig into guarding, as we progress, we know that the parameters are not the same for maintaining, but we have to establish initial legal guarding position before any contact occurs so that we can determine if the defender is legal or not. After that, we have other parameters on maintaining it. We don't have to continue facing the BHD, yada, yada. But we'll dig into those as we're going to get into guarding on a later study session. All right, number 3. And number 3, everyone got number 3 correct, which is great. All right, Rick, read number 3 for me, please.
You got it. Number 3, verticality applies to a legal position. The basic components of the principle of verticality are: select all that apply. A is legal guarding position must be obtained and attained initially, and movement thereafter must be legal. B, from such position, the defender may rise or jump vertically and occupy the space within their vertical plane. C, hands and arms of the defender may be raised within their vertical plane while the defender is on the playing court or in the air. D, the defender shall not be penalized for leaving the playing court vertically or having their hands and arms extended within the vertical plane. E, the offensive player, whether on the playing court or airborne, shall not, quote unquote, clear out or cause contact that is not incidental. F, the defender may not belly up, quote unquote, or use the lower part of the body or arms to cause contact outside their vertical plane. And G, the player with the ball shall be given no more protection or consideration than the defender, in the judging of which, if either player has violated the principle of verticality.
Correct. And the reference is?
My rule reference is Women's Rule Book 10-3.1.alpha through .gulf.
Correct.
And that's on pages 85 and 86.
Correct.
Last year's rule book, not the one that just came out.
Correct. This is last year's yearbook. Great clarification. Exactly. And when it comes to adjudicating verticality, and here's the piece that we have when we're processing the plays, we have to first determine that whomever the defender is must have obtained initial legal guarding position first, prior to even getting into verticality. If we do not obtain that initial legal guarding position, then we're not defending in a legal manner. So if contact occurs, we are responsible for that contact as a defender. Give an example. If you're stepping over in help position and you obtain legal guard position on the player who's penetrating, coming right down the lane, right? 2 feet torso facing on the ground before they leave the floor, and they pass to their right to a teammate who's attacking the basket. Visualize this. As that teammate, as A2 rises to score, and that defender then jumps in order to defend that teammate, if they in contact occurs that is beyond incidental, if they never attain initial legal guard position on that second offensive player, even though they are quote unquote vertical, they are still responsible for the contact if it's illegal, because they were never in legal guard position on the second player. So that is why we must start with determining if the defender is legal or not first. Are they legal? And then someone give me a visual reference of what the vertical plane is. So we're all on the same page. Help me understand what the vertical plane is. What does it look like? How do you measure it?
Tall tree, no wavering.
Say that again, Nicole.
Tall tree, no wavering.
Tall tree, no wavering. Okay, yes. How do we measure? Yes, you're correct. And how do we measure the space that you're occupying? It's a plane. And the only person I'm really concerned about, the only young person on this call is Kyle, and I don't want him using Chat GPT to look this up either.
I don't even use Chat GPT for anything, so you don't got to worry about that.
So how do we measure our actual, because Nicole's right, you gotta be tall, straight up, no wavering. So there's a space that we have to be tall and stationary in. How do we measure that space that we're entitled to?
Are you getting at
yes,
cylinder, Wayne? You have to remain
yes.
within your cylinder.
Ooh, remain within your cylinder. What is the cylinder?
Shoulder to shoulder, straight up, straight down.
Okay. I'm come back to something in just a second. Shoulder to shoulder, correct. And we're three-dimensional, right? So just think about it visually. You're right. Shoulder to shoulder. That's the outside edges of our vertical plane. And if we're three-dimensional,
you just turn in a circle and don't move.
It has to do with the bending of your knees, but I don't know the exact wording.
well, I think we're getting close. If visualize yourself standing in a space, and you're entitled to your vertical space from floor to ceiling, and your vertical space, the outside edges, the lateral, almost gave it away. The outside edges of your plane are your shoulders. What other measurement or what other distance are we occupying as a person? Well, we're having a pop quiz within a quiz. Are we two-dimensional? Are we flat?
No.
We're three-dimensional, right?
Correct.
So we have 2 points, shoulder to shoulder, okay? And unless we're flat as a piece of paper.
Are you referring to your width?
Come on, Tracy.
Front to back. Can I use the old me? Can I use the old me when I weighed more? Can I use my old belly?
Yes. No, your current belly, not your old belly. And Tracy, thank you for slightly pushing us in the right direction. It's your width also. So yes, shoulder to shoulder, front to back. Those are the dimensions of your plane. And like Nicole said, you have to be straight up and non-wavering within that plane. That's all your space. You're entitled to that space. So yes, there's real talk, there's some players have a deeper width than others, correct?
All
Correct.
not built the same.
And so we can't penalize a player because they happen to be deeper. Kevin's old belly. They are entitled to that space, shoulder to shoulder, front to back, from floor to ceiling. So now when we're adjudicating contact, and the player obtains initial legal guard position on a opponent, and then they stay within that plane, and they jump vertically tall, as Nicole said, in that plane. And even though there could be even hard contact, they could be big, even though they're bigger, they're still entitled to that space. And we cannot penalize them for taking up more space than their opponent. Boy, I had not planned to go that deep into that question.
That one got deep pretty quick.
Real quick. Question number 4, which we also scored real well on. I'll read this one. An offensive post player becomes a ball handler when, while in the lane area, they turn and face the basket with the ball or move completely outside the lane area with the ball. The answer to that is true. And our rule reference is, you know I love my appendixes, if that's a word. Appendix 2-3.1.a on page 110. And by the way, you will find a lot of our officiating principles in Appendix 2. So if an offensive post player becomes a ball handler, how do we define the post player? Someone help me out with that. When is it their designation on the in the scorebook, on the roster, on the lineup, in the scorecard? How do we define a post player?
Back to the bucket.
Post player has their back to the basket in the paint.
In the paint?
No, well, can be outside the block
Outside the
with
block?
their back to the basket.
Okay, so we have back to
No,
basket
they have to
paint
be in the lane area.
in the lane area. Come on, let's be specific. Let's be detailed.
I did say lane area first. I said in the lane.
Right, in the lane. There's a difference between the lane and the lane area.
Oh.
Yep. How do we define the lane area? Oh, I may have to pull out my books now.
3 feet outside the lane.
Say that again. 3 feet out?
3 feet out.
Yes. The lane area is measured by 3 feet outside the lane all the way around. And here's the key. What physical mark on the court do we have that's 3 feet outside the lane?
Our closed down position.
Tick, 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 boom.
The tick marks. Let's be
Tick, tick,
specific.
tick.
The tick marks are 3 feet outside the lane. So they are the outside edge of the lane area. So we're having both ticks on both sides of the lane. We're also, the lane is also from inline to free throw line, correct?
Yes.
So if you are 3 feet above the free throw line, within that 3 feet space above the free throw line, here's the part that most officials miss. And your back is to the basket, you are a post player. Why is that important? Not just for this question, for when we can determine when a post player becomes a ball handler dribbler, but because we have legal contact on a post player and illegal contact on a post player. A post player, defender can have 2 points. As long as they're not extending, controlling, displacing. And if you're 3 feet above, within 3 feet above the free throw line, with your back to the basket, you're still a post player. It doesn't matter if you're 5'10". You're back to the basket, you're a post player, and you fall within those rules. So then there's contact that is allowed when your back is to the basket. Now, tied in with our current question, once a post, I'm using air quotes, you can't see me. Once a post player catches the ball, and once they catch the ball, we must do what? Come on, somebody help me out. We had 2 points on her, but when she catches, we got to do what?
Take your hands off.
Which one? Both? All 3?
One.
That's right. We're going to have 1 point when she catches the ball back to the basket. And then once she faces, when she's in the lane area, she becomes a BHD. And I tell every coach this who asks the question, if you have a post player who can handle the basketball, get her the ball, have her face up. Because now the rules switch. She's a BHD. Now we got to get all those points off. All right. Kyle, read question number 5.
Players shall not select all that apply. Cause contact by setting a screen outside the visual field of a stationary opponent that does not allow this opponent a normal step to move. Make contact with the opponent when setting a screen within the visual field of that opponent. Take a position so close to a moving opponent that this opponent cannot avoid contact by stopping or changing direction.
Correct. All those are true. And what is the rule reference?
10-5.3.A through C, page 87.
Correct. Correct. Now we are adjudicating screening action when we are viewing players on the court when they're moving. How do we determine when a screen is outside the visual field of a stationary opponent? How do we determine their visual field? I don't know. You know what? I might have to delay quiz 10 and have quiz 10 and 11. How do you know when someone can't see somebody? Okay, let me put it in terms everybody understand. How do you know when someone can't see somebody?
When they're behind them.
Hey, Key.
Wrong person.
Oh, is that Faye?
Hi.
Hey, Faye, how you doing talking on Key's phone? And you're 100% correct. It's when they're directly behind their head. Not their body, not their back. It's when they're coming up behind their head. Now they're outside the visual field. An opponent could be looking in one direction, but a body's facing a different direction. And just because the screener is approaching from the side, if her eyes and head is looking the opposite direction, now it is a blind screen. Not based on body position, it's based on the head. And that will determine what type of contact is legal versus illegal. Love it. Hey, glad to have you, Faye. All right, Kevin. Question number 6. I'm trying to remember if you got this question right or not.
Really?
Just checking, man.
Rebounding Rebounding illegal contacts such as displacement, hooks, holds, and hacks occur. A, before the ball leaves the shooter's hands. B, when the ball is on the way to the basket. C, when the ball is coming off the ring. And D, when the rebound is secured. Rule
your first
reference,
answers are B.
CCA manual 3.3.4 alpha 1 through 3. Page 85.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. Yes.
Everything but A.
Everything but A. If the ball is still in the shooter's hand, have we begun the rebounding phase?
No. No.
No, we haven't. There are two phases, really three, to rebounding. There is the time frame for when the ball leaves the shooter's hand on its way to the ring, and that phase is called what?
You say that again?
When there's a period of time from when the ball leaves the shooter's hand, when it's in the air on its way to the ring or basket, that phase of rebounding is called what? Everybody should be taking notes on this. That's the pre-bound. The pre-bound. When the ball is coming off the ring, now we are officiating the rebound. The pre-bound is when the ball is released and it's on its way to the basket. That's the pre-bound phase. And that's when we're picking up players diving toward the rim, cutting through the lane. That's when we look for displacement, hooks, holds, clamps. That's when all of those contacts occur during the pre-bound phase. Once the ball comes off the rim, we are officiating rebounding or the rebound phase, and now we're officiating vertical space. Does an opponent invades their opposing player's vertical space as they're competing for the rebound? Then once the rebound is secured, that rebounder is what? Is considered what?
Ball handler?
Say with confidence.
A ball handler?
Correct. A BHD. That is why, after the rebound, and we have a tendency as officials to allow that opponent to have that extra contact. Generally, the rebound's a bigger player, and we allow those extra contact as they secure the ball. So you have to ask yourself, if you're in the front court, you have two players on the perimeter, BHC has ball in her hand, and the opposing player comes up and grabs her arm, is that a foul or not? That's an easy answer.
The foul.
It's a foul.
Foul.
Correct. So we have a rebounder who has secured the rebound. She is now a BHD. It has nothing to do with her proximity to the basket, which is on the other end of the court. She is now a BHD. So we have to adjudicate that matchup with the proper perspective that she's now a ball handler dribbler. With all the security that we allow to any ball handler dribbler, any other place on the floor. So now, if we have that mindset and we have that approach, we have that understanding, now we can pick up that first contact instead of waiting for the second or the third before we decide that it's illegal. Question number 7. Hey, Rick, read 7 for me, please.
You got it. If the defender legally beats the cutter to the spot and the defender's position is legal, the cutter is responsible for contact. That is true.
The correct answer is
True.
And our reference,
Hold on. Reference is Appendix 2, Officiating Guidelines, Section 3.3.A, page 112.
correct. That is correct. Told you I love my appendix.
You like your appendix.
Number 8. All right. Contact that is incidental to an effort by an opponent to reach a loose ball, or contact that results when opponents are in equally favorable positions to perform normal defensive or offensive movements, should be permitted even though the contact may be severe. Is that true or false?
Hey, that's true.
That's good answer. That is true. And our reference?
10-2.2, page 85.
That is correct. That is 100% correct. And this is really important, especially when we have players who are competing for loose balls or diving for the ball, right? And they're both competing, they're both leave their feet, they're diving in a similar direction. We have big contact, but they are both coming with the same amount of force. They're both diving the same direction. And we have to recognize that they're equally favorable. And we have to allow them to perform the normal defensive and or offensive movement in their attempt to secure the basketball. And even though we have big contact, it is still considered incidental by rule. All right, question number 9, which we all got correct. All right, question number 9. Tracy, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm eating dinner.
Okay, then I'm going to read this because Tracy's putting food. Okay. And by the way, I wish I had my dinner in front of me also. Number 9, B1 is setting a legal screen on A1. I want you to visualize this. B1 is setting a legal screen on A1. When A3 pushes A1 into the screener, B1, and the contact is illegal, which player is assessed the foul? A1 or A3?
A1.
A1. And we all got this answer correct. And a rule reference is we have 2. There is a case play, which is verbatim. AR 10-10 on page 92. And our rule reference is Rule 10-10.1 on page 85. Now, someone explain to me why A1 is responsible for the illegal contact, even though A3 created it.
Because A1 is the person who made the contact, even though he or she was pushed by their teammate. The illegal contact happened because of A1.
Correct. Yes, A1 is the perpetrator who actually created, who performed the contact. A3 may have created it. That's a teammate for you right there. But A1 actually was a perpetrator.
A1 better be real upset with A3, but it doesn't matter. A1 could have stumbled into the defender instead of pushed, but he's the one that created the illegal contact, so they would be charged with the foul.
Correct. That is correct.
So if you don't agree with your coach's 5 players on the field on the court, you can just shove the person on the court that you don't want on the court into somebody and get them in foul trouble.
So when the two teammates, when A1 and A3 start fighting, can we assess when they fight each other? Can we assess fighting, technical fouls, and ejections?
Both of them. They're both disqualified. Yes.
Yep. Fighting a teammate is a fight.
Correct. Now, what kind? Hey, Kevin, what team does that remind you of? Who would have actions like that? You just visited their facility about a month ago.
Say that again.
What team does that remind you of? Who have actions like this on the court?
Would that be Vegas?
Yes, yes, sir.
They're on a roll right now, though.
Boy, hey man, I watched them play not that long ago. Man, I mean they're a shadow of what they used to be.
Yeah, but they're 4 games above 500. They're on a little
Yep.
hot roll right now.
Yep, they're on a little bit of a roll. All right, question number 10, which is our video question. And which was the other question we had a slight challenge with. So I'm going to play the video. And we are going to give our interpretation of the play. So let me spotlight my screen for everyone. Over here. So, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. I'll play it through one time, then we'll go back and we'll break it down. So our options on the play were foul on white, foul on black, incidental contact.
Incidental contact.
And even though we have bit contact, why would we consider it incidental?
Because she establishes a legal guarding position on the ball handler and maintains legal guarding position and stays within her vertical plane.
And Kyle, you are 100% correct.
And the ball handler dribbler is initiating the contact with the verticality, with legal verticality.
So we have a defender. Help defender, correct?
Yes.
BHG beats the primary defender. Help defender slides over. 2 feet torso facing. So she obtains her initial legal guard position. When she obtains initial legal guard position, she's entitled to her vertical space.
I think she even obtains legal guarding position before that.
Yep, correct. And so once she obtains, she's entitled to that space from floor to ceiling.
This is a perfect example of, look at the size difference in the ball handler dribbler and the defender, and look how the ball handler dribbler being in the air still was able to, how far she pushed the defender, not push, but the contact, how
Yes.
far the contact made the defender go back.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of referring to about the ball handler dribbler makes that contact.
Correct.
Wayne, I'm gonna have to
Yes.
disagree.
Come on, share it with us.
So I can't understand for the life of me how you expect the offensive player to change direction. So when I look at this video, I'm going to block all day.
Ooh.
However,
Walk me through. Tell me why.
But if I was in the moment, I don't know. Might see something differently on the floor. But yeah, you know me. I go against the grain.
Man, that's why I love having you on our calls, man.
Yeah, but what did the defense do that was incorrect?
Correct. Exactly. What did the defender do that was illegal?
Didn't get there in time, and that's the way I see it.
But
Oh,
she established she has both feet on the ground. She goes straight up in the air, right? What did she do wrong?
Oh, you could see that without going frame from frame because
Oh,
I made
yes.
my decision based upon off of one review, not multiples.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
yes.
Live ball, that is probably always going to be either an offensive foul. You would be hard pressed to get a block on that, though. Yes, you could put it be a 50-50 call. But I think if you are not rewarding the defense for verticality and establishing legally, you're in for a long game.
Correct. And that is the reason why we went through the parameters of vertical space at the beginning of the quiz so that we have so we can have a really deep understanding of how someone can obtain that position legally and maintain it legally. Because you're right, watching it live, if we're not officiating the defender and our eyes on the offensive player, we never pick up where the defender came from, and we never pick up when she established. So that, yes, it can appear that she could be moving as contact is occurring, unless we're picking up the location of that defender. And once again, all it takes is her obtaining initial legal guard position, and time and distance is not a factor. She has to get to the shorter cut before contact.
All you had to say is that I need glasses, Wayne. Like, explanation. I know I'm getting older.
Hey, aren't we all? But that's why I love it. This is right here. This is why we do this right here. Just that gaining that just deeper, slightly deeper understanding. And also that also ties into next level officiating is our disciplines. Where should our eyes be? Where should our vision be? Who should we pick them up and when? And when should we transition our eyes from one player to the next? And of course, it helps if we wear our spectacles out on the floor when we need them. So yes, this player is entitled to her vertical space. She obtained initial legal guarding position. She stayed in her vertical space. The BHD, the score, created the contact. We did not penalize the defender. We had, and like Tracy said, we have one or two options on this play. It's either incidental contact or it's an offensive foul. We cannot penalize the defender for playing good defense. Okay, I love it. That's questions 1 through 10. Do we have any other questions? Do we need any clarification on any of our rule references or our answers on the quiz? All right, once again, hey, I want to thank each and every one of you, first of all, for you guys taking time out throughout the summer to continue to participate. We are all getting just a little bit better consistently during a time when we have a lot of other things that we could be focused on. So I appreciate each of you for coming out, participating, for taking the quizzes, for doing the study, for looking up your references, for digging, and then coming out and we're reviewing it together. So we're continuing to get just a little bit better at what we do. So the next time any of you are working with Faye on and we have this play right here, you already know what the decision is going to be. Then you can dapper up, say good call, partner.
Wayne, thanks for putting these together.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Wait, when does the big test come out?
It's coming out this coming out Sunday. This is gonna be the last one. 20 questions. 20 questions coming out this Sunday. It'll be released Sunday evening. You have a week, and then we will review it the following Sunday. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than quiz number 9. Just a little bit.
Hey, we like challenges. That's how we get better.
Come on. Come on. All right. Any questions before we break for the evening? Hey, I love it. Thank you. Thank you guys for participating. And what's important is I met my goal of finishing before 8 o'clock. Hey, y'all. Go ahead, Tracy.
Goal met.
Come on. I'm telling you, hey, yeah, there's certain things that even I'm still working on.
Hey, it's only 5:54 over here, so I still got the whole evening.
There it is, out there on the West Coast. All right, people. Hey, you guys, thank you all for joining us this evening. I will have that quiz ready to go by Sunday evening. We're going to dig into it. Then we'll chop it up again the following Sunday. I'll send out the calendar invite as a reminder. And yes, let's do our best to get it done. This is our last one before we can break for the summer and really get ready for the upcoming season. All right. And once again, if anybody has any questions about anything, do not hesitate to reach out at any time. All right. Hey, good job, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thanks for
Thanks,
organizing this, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, people.